The Tale of Mwindo, A Hero's Journey. Narrator, warm, resonant voice. In the heart of the ancient Nyanga lands, nestled within the dense, mysterious forests of the Congo, there was once a village called Tabondo. It was a place of vibrant life, where the rhythm of drums echoed through the valleys, and the voices of ancestors whispered through the rustling leaves. But beneath this surface of harmony lay a deep, festering fear, a fear of the man who ruled with a grip as cold and unyielding as iron, King Shimwindo. Shimwindo was a king not born of the nurturing earth, but of the dark, twisting shadows that prey upon the hearts of men. His eyes, hardened by suspicion, saw threats in every corner of his kingdom. Most feared among these threats were the sons of Tabondo, for Shimwindo believed that any male child born to his wives would one day rise up and claim his throne. Thus, he decreed, with a voice as sharp as the edge of a spear, that no son should draw breath in his kingdom. And so it was, that a wave of sorrow swept through Tabondo, as mothers, heavy with grief, saw their sons taken from them before they could even learn to walk. But from this sea of despair, one child emerged, a child unlike any other. This child was Mwindo, born to Shimwindo's favored wife, Nyamwindo, under the shadow of night, when the moon hid her face in mourning. Mwindo's birth was no ordinary birth. He came into the world not with a cry, but with the strength of a fully grown warrior, his small hands gripping a Conga scepter, the symbol of authority and power. From the moment he took his first breath, it was clear that the spirits of the ancestors had blessed him with great power, power that would one day challenge the tyranny of his father. Shimwindo, upon hearing of this miraculous birth, felt the cold grip of fear tighten around his heart. He knew that Mwindo was the child prophesied to bring an end to his reign. In a desperate attempt to thwart fate, Shimwindo ordered his guards to seize the child and cast him into the depths of the river, a place where no man, let alone a child, could survive. But Mwindo was no ordinary child. The river, instead of taking his life, carried him gently on its currents, cradling him in its cool embrace. The spirits of water, recognizing the child's destiny, delivered him safely to the riverbank, where he was found by his aunt, Iangira. She took him in, knowing that this child was the key to freeing their land from the curse of Shimwindo's tyranny. As Mwindo grew, so too did his strength and wisdom, nurtured by the love and guidance of Iangira. He learned the ways of the spirits, the secrets of the earth, and the power that flowed through his veins. By the time he was of age, Mwindo was not just a child, but a leader, a beacon of hope for the people of Tabondo. And so, the day came when Mwindo, now a young man, decided to confront the father who had sought to destroy him. With his Conga scepter in hand and the blessings of the ancestors in his heart, he journeyed to Tabondo, his eyes set on the palace where Shimwindo sat, unaware of the storm that was about to descend upon him. And so, the day came when Mwindo, now a young man, decided to confront the father who had sought to destroy him. With his Conga scepter in hand and the blessings of the ancestors in his heart, he journeyed to Tabondo, his eyes set on the palace where Shimwindo sat, unaware of the storm that was about to descend upon him. And so, the day came when Mwindo, now a young man, decided to confront the father who had sought to destroy him. With his Conga scepter in hand and the blessings of the ancestors in his heart, he journeyed to Tabondo, his eyes set on the palace where Shimwindo sat, unaware of the storm that was about to descend upon him. With Shimwindo's fall, the land of Tabondo breathed a sigh of relief. Mwindo, now recognized as the rightful ruler, took his place not as a tyrant, but as a king who understood the true meaning of leadership. He ruled with compassion, wisdom, and a deep love for his people, ensuring that the wounds of the past would heal and that the future would be bright for all. Narrator, reflective, steady voice. With Shimwindo's fall, Mwindo ascended to the throne of Tabondo, but the weight of the crown was heavy. For the people looked to him not only as their savior, but as the one who would heal the scars left by years of tyranny. The land itself, scarred by the dark deeds of Shimwindo, called out for renewal, and Mwindo knew that his journey was far from over. Though Mwindo was young, his heart was old with the wisdom of the ancestors, and his soul was strong with the fire of justice. But even a king chosen by the spirits must prove himself to the land, and Mwindo's first challenge as ruler was to bring harmony back to Tabondo. He walked the length and breadth of his kingdom, listening to the grievances of the people, feeling the pain of the earth beneath his feet. He saw the suffering left in the wake of Shimwindo's reign, fields left fallow, rivers running dry, and villages haunted by the ghosts of the past. Mwindo knew that to truly heal his kingdom, he would need to call upon the deep, ancient powers of the land, the very forces that had watched over his journey from birth. Under the guidance of his wise Anti-Angura, Mwindo sought the counsel of the spirits of the earth, the water, and the sky. He journeyed into the sacred forests, where the trees stood tall and ancient, their roots entwined with the memories of the ancestors. There, in the heart of the forest, he knelt before the great tree, a tree as old as the world itself, whose branches reached up to the heavens, and whose roots delved deep into the underworld. The great tree spoke to Mwindo, not in words, but in the language of the earth, the rustling of leaves, the creaking of branches, the hum of life within the soil. The tree told him that to restore balance to the land, he must find the sacred springs hidden deep within the mountains, springs that had been sealed off by Shimwindo's dark magic. These springs, once freed, would bring life back to the parched fields, and cleanse the rivers of their taint. And so, Mwindo set out on a new journey, one that would test not his strength, but his heart and spirit. He climbed the highest peaks, where the air was thin and the cold bit deep. He ventured into dark caves, where shadows danced and the spirits of the underworld whispered in the dark. But Mwindo's resolve was unshaken, for he carried within him the love of his people and the hope of a better future. 5. In the heart of the mountains, Mwindo found the sacred springs, their waters pure and crystal clear, guarded by ancient spirits who had long awaited the coming of a just king. With reverence, Mwindo unsealed the springs, breaking the bonds of dark magic that had held them captive. The water flowed forth, clear and sparkling, bringing life back to the land. The rivers swelled with fresh water, the fields blossomed once more, and the people of Tabando rejoiced, their hearts lightened by the renewal of their land. But Mwindo knew that his work was not done. The healing of the land was only the first step. The true challenge lay in healing the hearts of his people, mending the rifts that had formed during the years of Shimwindo's rule. Mwindo called upon the elders of each village, gathering them together in a great council. He spoke of unity, of the strength that comes from standing together, and of the need to forgive and rebuild. Through Mwindo's guidance, the people of Tabando began to heal. Old feuds were settled, and new bonds were formed. Mwindo instituted laws that were fair and just, ensuring that every voice was heard, every grievance addressed. The people, once fearful and divided, came together as one, their hearts bound by the love and respect they had for their king. Years passed, and Mwindo's reign became known as a golden age, a time of peace, prosperity, and unity. The story of Mwindo, the hero born under the shadow of death, who rose to bring light and justice to his people, was told and retold, becoming a cornerstone of the cultural heritage of the Nyanga people. And so, Mwindo's legacy lived on, not just in the stories told by the griots, but in the very earth of Tabando, in the rivers that flowed, the trees that grew, and the people who thrived under his wise and loving rule. For Mwindo was not just a king, but a symbol of hope, of the power of love and justice, and of the enduring spirit of a people who, through him, found their way back to the light.